What's up, people? I'm just on this balcony giving up a little sweat equity, hitting this swagger dash in my Bustlife shirt. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Cash Rich in the Bustlife. Let me stand up and show y'all this thing. You know what I'm talking about? Looking good, the guns looking good. Yeah, I'm in that Bustlife. You know what I'm talking about? Looking good, boy. I'm talking about for real. Looking thin. Yeah. Old ass skinny nigga, man. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But it's hot out here, so I'm turning this thing on. Y'all come on in, man. Come on in, man. Salute. Y'all come on in. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Mhm. He said, KB, pop your shit, man. I was sweating like a motherfucker out here. I gotta go back inside. Oh, TJ lying? Damn. TJ always lying now. Tell TJ quit hogging the live screens. I'm out here in this bus life. I'm just hitting that swagger there. I saw Cena went over the live screen. I'm on that swagger. Shout out to Cash Rich with the bus life. Shout out to Cash Rich. Yes, yes, yes. That's enough for we have niggas goddamn zooming in to my hips and zooming in to every damn thing. You know these weirdos, they see me okay. Oh shit, we got a Kwame sighting. Zoom in on his hair. Zoom in on his hairline. Zoom in on his nose. Zoom in on his eyeballs. Zoom in on if you can get a shot of his nuts. Pause. Zoom in on him. Yeah, zoom in on everything about this nigga. Zoom in on the background. Zoom in on the corner of a shot. See if it's a fly somewhere. Just zoom in. Bitch ass niggas, boy, these motherfuckers crazy. But we done got the channel back, bitches. I knew you wasn't gonna be paying attention, you little lame. Talking about a young lady flagged me. Yeah, that bogus ass email you used. I knew you wasn't gonna be watching that email. So you had to take me to court, you stupid bitch. And you didn't. So yeah, man, they gave me my channel back. They said, "Oh, yeah, we ain't got no court documents." I think I got all my channels back. If I ain't mistaken, I gotta load them all up, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I knew that little fake ass flag you did. Boy, I told you this shit ain't gonna work with no nigga like me. You got it for a minute. That was good. You did your thing for a minute. You know, you did your thing for a minute. But I'm gonna show you, you little nasty mother trucker. Good always beat evil. Look at your boss. He lost his job. He got kicked out in the playoffs. He got to go court in November. You about to carry your ass back to Cleveland. You crashed out, dummy. Kenyon, don't invite him to the show. You crashed out. And then we know Gilbert feeding you shit on the side. We already know it because you a mutt. You his mutt. Fucking mutt. Let me join in on my computer. Yeah, that's all they do is false flag. They paid dudes to flag me. And I'm such a G. I'm such a player. And I wasn't gonna say nothing but the nigga put on the internet. Hold on, let me tell you. Which one? The Negro put me on the internet showing that I helped him. So, I can't do nothing about that now. But you know what I mean? The man put something up there and said that his father or something was. So I sent him a little money for a flight. Cause you ain't do nothing to me. Nigga, I came out on the internet saying, nigga, I don't give a fuck if you talk about me, good or bad. Nigga, get your paper. Just don't get malicious. Don't try to hurt me or my family with what you're saying. And we good money. We good money. But these niggas be taking it so serious by talking about clowns they don't even know. But so I sent him a little bread to get his flight. But that's the same dude that flagged my channel. He never even apologized. He talking about, oh, I'm going to still expose. No, you not exposing nothing. You trying to hinder someone from being able to speak because you don't like what they're saying.
And that's garbage. That's weak. And I showed you some humility. I showed you that good gonna always be evil, nigga. At your lowest time, at your darkest moment, who was right there? A good nigga, boy. Good always be evil, boy. Yeah. And I don't want nothing from you. You can still keep talking about me. I never asked you to not talk about me. Never. But that just goes to show you, you never know. You never know. Stop being so goddamn evil. Stop being so weird. Y'all don't gotta partake in something that you don't really have nothing to do with. You don't gotta keep being Gilbert's little minions, flagging folks off the internet and doing all this weird stuff. But hey, it is what it is. We up in this thing though. We up in this thing though. Let me stand up. Let me put my shit back how I had it. Hold on. I want to stand up for a second. You know what I'm saying? I want to put Cino on. I almost played some songs. I thought this shit was motherfucking. I thought we was on Patreon. Why you help someone to try to take your chime? Because I'm like that. I'm like that. Trying to show the jealous hearted nigga that I ain't never did nothing to you. Why you trying to take something from me? Why you trying to hinder my business and me saying something when I ain't did shit to you? So, I'm just that type of cat. I'm just that type of cat, man. Sometimes you don't want to. I didn't ask you what you would do, KTC. I wouldn't, you married a white man. There's a lot of things that you did that a lot of other sisters wouldn't do. You talk black and married a white man. But anyway, we up in this thing. I'm standing up in this bitch. Let's let Cino tell y'all what's going on. This junkie was talking tough. Oh, I'm telling you, everybody that was fucking with me in my channel and all the shit that they did, just look at what's going on with them now. Look, Tommy was on here fucking with me, got thrown off the internet. Gil was over here fucking with me doing that devilish shit. Fed charge in November. Lost his job, lost his channel. You shouldn't mess with people that don't mess with you. That is not good energy. Energy is important. And this God's work over here, Jack. I'm over here saying trading and coding, same shit. People running in these courthouses and these open these open neighborhood situations where they're talking to the community and these city council meetings, and they're saying the same things I've said on the internet. So that's why I say in real life, though, most motherfuckers only live in fairy tale land on the internet. They done interneted so many people out. They wake up, get on Facebook. They wake up, get on check Instagram. Then they wake up reading about everybody else. Only time some bitch read is when they reading about somebody else. That's it. Reading gossip about other people's life. Reading about Marcellus Wiley and everybody else. They ain't reading nothing that's food for them. Only gossip. Only gossip. But let's go here, man. Let's listen to the things I said about Stephen A. Cause I had to let this boy know that boy, I got range. I could be a loud, rootin' tootin' some bitch, or I could show the range that no, 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 no. You're not gonna get out of this. You're not gonna get out of what I've been saying. You can't do the things that you talk about, but you talk about it in a way that's destructive. I don't even hear you talk basketball. I hear you talk gossip. And Stephen A. Smith said he wasn't scared of nobody. Stephen A. Smith said, I ain't scared to talk to nobody. But how come I've been online saying, let's have a conversation for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've yet to have that conversation? Why is Stephen A. so afraid to talk to me? What does he know is going to be exposed about him? Why can't we have that conversation, Stephen A? You know everybody want to see it. You dread the day that you would have to speak to me. Because look, all that stuff they say, all he do is curse and yell. Okay, let's see me curse and yell.
Nothing to do with basketball. You try to make it seem like you just and the brothers when
Watch this.
I'm going to illustrate.
I put that goddamn St. Simon's Island bust over there, that Glen Academy High School, goddamn talking on them then. I took out the cursing and I just told them what it is that you do and what it is that you get paid for.
Stephen A. Smith is trying to pretend like he needs to apologize to me and he's so sorry. Stephen A. saved the buffoonery. I'm going to illustrate what I meant by your job, and the only value that you have is that you are there to sway the narrative and cushion the blow between the white guys when they make a mistake in the media.
Did I say illustrate? Oh shit, big word.
And the brothers when they make a mistake in the media, you there to drill the hammer because they love to make a Negro show out on another Negro. And so I'm here to illustrate that. And the fact that you have no journalism, you have no journalistic integrity. You'll gossip. You'll talk about things that has nothing to do with basketball. You try to make it seem like you just keep it between basketball and that's it. We all know that that's not true. So we're going to break it down that this is not hatred, Stephen A. You're not going to qualify what I'm doing as hatred. I know you think you're so smart, but I have no hatred for you or anyone else. You know what I mean? That doesn't do me any good to have hatred for nobody. I would like to have a conversation with you, and I actually feel sorry for you. I actually do. I know money don't make you happy, and you can pretend and throw that money out in front and make it seem like that's the reason why you're so comfortable and safe. And no, I know that you cap. So let's.
And I'm doing push-ups while I'm up here standing up.
You come on,
I gotta stand up a little bit more instead of sit down.
You've been talking about me for years.
And I'm doing push-ups while I'm doing
to other people about me.
Dancing. I gotta get my energy back up.
None needed. You thought you did your job. Cool. Let's have a conversation about the way you went about doing your job. Let's talk about what Jalen Rose was trying to tell you. And let's talk about how you ruin sports media by speaking about things in a derogatory way that you yourself can't do. You are a participation trophy type of guy, speaking about things in a way as if you could do it. If I can't read, I would never be picking and joking with guys that can. And you can't hoop, but you are talking as if you was this basketball savant. And you tried to make a joke about me and who I shouldn't be talking about playing basketball good or not. You talk basketball with football players. You talk basketball with Skip Bayless. Hell, look in the mirror. You talk basketball. So how dare you question whether I can say who's good or not good at basketball? You are a clown. And to qualify yourself so much just because they gave you a mic to talk and somebody stuffed a few $100s in your pocket because you tear down the contracts of Kyrie Irving, Andrew Wiggins, Kwame Brown, and any other Negro you come across is kind of weird. So let's get into this and let me put up the overlay because Stephen A., you are about to see the history of yourself, right? And we'll see. At the end of this, we'll be able to see if you actually are a journalist or a gossiper. I got my money on you're a gossiper. You have no journalistic integrity. All you do is gossip. So let's listen to you gossip and make up stories.
Golden State Warriors forward Andrew Wiggins is still not vaccinated. As we well know, there are millions of people like him.
Stephen A. Smith, you said you talk basketball. Since when are you talking about vaccinations? You know, with the women, it's their body, their choice. When they want to unalive babies, it's their body, their choice. Black man don't want to put this unproven vaccination in his body. And somehow you are delegated. You, a basketball analyst, talking head, is now delegated to talk about Andrew Wiggins and the fact that he doesn't get this jab. And let's hear you, Mr. I only talk basketball. Because I think it's deeper with you, Mr. Stephen A.
Across the country. But Andrew Wiggins is not like millions of other people. He's one of just 5 starters on an NBA team. An NBA team with championship aspirations. An NBA team that just so happens to play in the city of San Francisco. a city that requires proof of vaccination to even attend large indoor events, let alone participate. That means that as things stand right now, Andrew Wiggins can't play in 41 Warriors home games this season or in any home playoff games. This dude is not eligible to play a single game of basketball at home. But you know something? He is eligible to be traded. And that's exactly what the hell the Golden State Warriors should do today. That's not my job to be judge and jury. If Wiggins has legitimate religious reasons for not getting vaccinated, that's his decision.
Hey, Stephen A. You only talk basketball, huh, Stephen A? You said that this man needs to be traded.
I ain't hear him say shit about basketball yet. And if y'all notice, it's always something that go on in the media with these black athletes, and Stephen A is the one that they bring out to talk about it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is this a sports show or is this like a gossip, like Wendy Williams sports spinoff? Because they don't talk basketball at all. They talk guys going to jail, guys hitting their girlfriends. We already got news reporters and people that report on that. We can see that shit on TMZ. What the hell is Stephen A, a sports analyst on ESPN, going up there telling us about Javante Tate Davis allegedly hitting his girl? We already know that. That's TMZ. We're going to ESPN to see sports. That's all he bloviates is personal things about athletes, especially the black ones. And then he's always attacking on the image. But when it comes to the white boy, Dana White, boy, they get logic. They get deductive reasoning. They know situational awareness. They said, wait a minute. Hold up. Let's be fair. Dana White's wife hit him first. I said, holy shit. I've never, ever in my life seen a sports analyst go on TV if a black man hit a black woman and ever say this would not be allowed. It would be a job, a career-ending situation for him to say that, hey, this black woman hit him first. It would be a career-ending situation. So that's why I knew these are some script reading. Beep. They're not real men. They're not real women. They sway narratives based on who it is and who we like. It's all about who we like.
His body, his choice, Stephen A. This man needed to be traded because he didn't want to put an unproven vaccination in his body. Stephen A., what part of this is journalism? Can you please explain to me this? Don't talk about how much you want to apologize to me and all this stupidity. I have questions that go beyond you wanting to apologize. What part of this is journalism? What part of this? Because every time you open your mouth, you're disrespecting somebody. What part of this is journalism? He should be traded because he didn't want to put a vax in his body.
I respect that. But the Golden State Warriors are not a religious organization. They're a basketball organization. Their job is to win. You can't win when one of your starters can't play half the games. Andrew Wiggins is putting the Warriors team in jeopardy. I'm not even talking about their health. I'm talking about their basketball aspirations. And don't tell me that Wiggins has probably just done his research. All y'all talking about research, pretending like you've ever before read the damn ingredients on anything else you put in your body. Stop it.
Look at the disrespect. When I came to the internet, I said they use a black man to say things that white folks want to say. And so if a white man would have said that about a black player, it would have instantly triggered conversations around racism. And so now Stephen A goes up there as a black man that says he supports and loves black players and basically insult this man's intelligence as if he can't read. I don't know. He did go to Kansas. He went to college. But Stephen A is talking like overall, like you just Like you NBA players are just doofuses. You guys just take medicine we tell you to take. Now just take this jab. He hasn't said anything intelligent. He hasn't said a real reason why somebody should put that in their body because it's an unproven medicine. This is the rest of his life. His body is his temple. You don't have to have no religious excuse for that. It's his body, his choice. But they tried to make it and spin it like this man was selfish. Tried to make it seem like this man was not a real teammate. This man is a son first. He could potentially be a father. And he's a human being that could want to live. So why would they have a sports analyst coming out here swaying the narrative about players' character, players, their image based on if they wanted to take some medicine in their body? What did that have to do with a sports analyst? And he talked directly to the teams because he admitted it in the Jaylen Brown situation. He admitted that those teams come to talk to him. I don't want to say Stephen A is taking money on the side from these teams. I don't want to say something like that. But why would he go pump a narrative to make it seem like these black brothers are against the team and not a good teammate and turn the city against them because they didn't want to put something that serious in their body? This is what Stephen A.'s job is. He didn't do that to Aaron Rodgers. I noticed that. He didn't do that. They didn't put cameras in front of all these white guys' face and ask them, did you take the jab? Did you take the jab? They didn't do that. So I've been right about Stephen A. this whole time. That's why he's never going to have a conversation with me. He tries to make it seem like, oh, he's just angry. Oh, I'm just sorry, man. Let's just back away from it. No. You said out of your mouth, unless you align some up, you said that you wasn't afraid to speak to anybody. This is what you said. You said the only person you don't want to talk to is Jason Whitlock. My name is Kwame Brown, not Jason Whitlock. Why can't we have a conversation? You have conversations with everybody else. Don't be scared.
Stop that lying. Andrew Wiggins has made a choice. He ain't vaccinated. Now the Warriors need to make the only choice they can make. Trade his ass. Trade him for a player who won't miss half the.
So now Stephen A. is insulting him. Now he's insulting him. You didn't read anything else, so stop acting like you worry about anything else that you put in your body. Forget all that other stuff. Do what we telling you to do. You don't need to be worried about reading no vaccination. Put it in your body or get traded. This is Stephen A. Smith. This is journalism. This is a guy bullying players with his microphone. And shortly after this, Andrew Wiggins got that vaccination. This is a guy bullying these players with their microphone, speaking the talking points of owners and people in the city. He openly admitted it. This is a puppet. He speaks the talking points of the city and the team so that he can force these players to do what he wants. This is crazy. Why is he talking about this when this doesn't pertain to basketball? This is a personal decision with someone's personal body.
He ain't vaccinated. Now the Warriors need to make the only choice they can make. Trade his ass. Trade him for a player who won't miss half the damn games. It's very, very simple. In case you haven't noticed, my patience is up. If you're the type of person that gets a prescription from a doctor and reads every ingredient before taking the medication, I'm not talking about you. Because whatever reservations you have are consistent with how you have been. But most professional athletes, they get a prescription from the doctor, they go to the pharmacy or have somebody go get it for them, and they go get the medicine.
What does that have to do with Andrew Wiggins? See how he switches back and forth in the conversation from we're talking about Andrew Wiggins 1 minute, and then now if you're those players that don't do this, I'm not talking about you. You're supposed to be talking about Andrew Wiggins. Why does it matter so much to you? And why is your patience so thin with what an NBA player decides to do with their personal body? How is that journalism? What does that have to do with basketball? Why is that a part of your contract? You're supposed to be talking about X's, O's. You're supposed to be talking about the game of basketball. You're talking about somebody putting something in their body. You're that concerned with his safety that you mixed in what most people would say that they made this vaccination, political. You mixed in politics with basketball, and you tore down the image of Kyrie Irving, and you tore down the image of a lot of players because they would not do what someone else wanted them to do. And you're the mouthpiece for the white men who want them to do it. And that's why you got paid.
So now he's been around most basketball players. I told you, they use this boy to talk these white talking points. If he was a white man, people would be in an uproar. So are you saying all athletes are stupid and they can't go get medicine that's theirs, that's prescribed to them, and Google it, chat GPT it, get an understanding of what it is that they're taking? You don't have to be that smart nowadays. Shit, you got chat GPT. It'll read it out for you. It'll spell everything out for you. We got smartphones. We got a fucking computer with us at all times. If there's any confusion, we can clear it up. But Stephen A. Smith wants to make sure he signaled to White Daddy that, no, you ain't doing nothing wrong. Vax this boy. And if this boy don't get vaxxed, get rid of this boy.
They go to the pharmacy or have somebody go get it for them, and they go get the medicine and they take it. That's what most of you do. Everybody else with the NBA, coaches, medical staff members, employees, personnel, administrators, everybody else mandated, vaccinated. But the players, I'm done. Trade his ass. Trade him.
Look at the mind control. Everybody else, man.
Trade him.
Mandated.
Trade him.
Trade his ass.
Can anybody tell me what part of anything he said was about basketball?
Not one basketball point.
What part of that was basketball? I just want to know. All I want to know was what part of that was anything to do with basketball. Let's go to another video.
Future, how will we look back at this trade?
Well, I think that depends on how good Andrew Wiggins ends up being. I think that if the Timberwolves end up getting Thaddeus Young, he's a really, really good player. He's not a star, but he's a better than solid player, incredibly athletic, runs the floor, gives a lot of energy, high character guy. I think you look at Andrew Wiggins, the jury is still out. Because, again, if you believe that Andrew Wiggins has the potential to be a star.
If you look at Andrew Wiggins, the jury is still out.
Like I do, eventually, then you know what? It might pan out. But if you believe like Skip believes, in terms of him being what he is, we all know the handle is suspect, the jump shot is streaky, but relatively suspect as well. It just doesn't simply compare to the 26 and 12 that Kevin Love put in last year and what he's capable of doing on a night in, night out basis, especially playing alongside LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, who I think is inching towards stardom himself. And so,
did y'all hear Kevin Love numbers? 26 and 12, but they say LeBron James don't play with nobody. Kevin Love was averaging 26 and 12 rebound. Interesting.
For me, clearly the Cavaliers are getting the better end of this deal. There is no doubt about that. But somewhere along the way, there must be people who have a strong belief in Andrew Wiggins. He was the #1 overall pick in the draft. The thing is, so was Anthony Bennett. And we didn't even discover he could actually play professional basketball until March.
Now they throw in an Anthony Bennett shot. This got nothing to do with Anthony Bennett, but they throw in Anthony Bennett.
So I believe that history ultimately will conclude that the Cleveland Cavaliers stole Kevin Love. And I get it that in return, the T-Wolves got 2 #1 overall picks in Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett. And they got the 12th pick in the draft now in Thaddeus Young. And I still don't think it was nearly enough. Again, I'm premature on this. I don't see superstardom. I don't see even Kevin Love kind of stardom in Andrew Wiggins. I hope I'm wrong about that. I don't think I will be. You just summarized what we haven't seen from Anthony Bennett. And Thaddeus Young is a nice player, Stephen A., but I keep reading the stories that he's seen as the replacement for Kevin Love. Seriously? Thaddeus Young has played, this will be his 8th year in the NBA. He's made no all-star teams. And even though last year he averaged 18-6 for the Sixers, they went 19-63 with Thaddeus Young. Was he that big a difference maker? No. So I'm sorry, I don't see enough. And I still don't understand why the Timberwolves didn't hold out longer, even though Kevin Love backed them into a corner and said, I will only sign with Cleveland. Well, you can say, all the leverage then goes to Cleveland. But the T-Wolves could say, well, you want him? You're going to have to wait on him. We want more. You could hold on to him all the way to the trade deadline, onto Kevin Love. You could say, we have to have Kyrie back for him. And then you could play chicken with him. I don't know. You could maybe hold out and get a better overall deal than you got because you need star.
Did y'all hear anything about basketball yet? I was just letting this play. And I'm waiting to hear something about basketball. All I'm hearing is two dudes that don't know nothing about basketball gossiping about people that play basketball. What did y'all hear that's anything to do with basketball? This is personal opinion, gossip. And most YouTubers know more than this bullshit. They know.
Power for star power, and I just don't think they got proven star power in return.
I still contend with you that they should have made the deal to ship Love to Golden State before all of this went down with LeBron in Cleveland. They really should have done that.
Okay, so they didn't. And once Kevin Love made his proclamation, I will only sign with the Cavaliers, then you can't blame Golden State for taking the deal off the table because they don't want to rent Kevin Love and have to throw in, what was it, Klay Thompson on top of the rest of the players they're going to have to give, David Lee and Harrison Barnes. Go ahead.
They could have talked. They could have talked all they wanted to. Skip. It's one thing to proclaim you're not going to stay in Minnesota, but had he gotten traded to Golden State, then he would have been in a situation where you're a part of the Golden State squad with the Steph Curry and the rest of the crew, and you got a lot of potential with a better team out there out west. Are you going to leave that to go and make less money in Cleveland? You see, that's the issue here. One thing to leave Minnesota, because a lot of people would be willing to take less to get out of a purgatory style situation that he felt clearly that he was in.
Okay.
But Golden State is not that scenario.
So now let's turn our sights to the team used to cover, the Philadelphia 76ers. What the heck are they doing? Because, again,
listen,
I love Nerlens Noel. Let me just say, coming off his knee reconstruction, and I'm told it's going very well. He looked good in the summer league. I'm not sure about Embiid's back, but he's going to be a star in this league because I believe it will heal, but it's going to be a while. So what are you going to do for a while? I think you're going to be maybe even worse than you were last year, or no better.
I'm not going to go that far. They were 19-63 last year. They went 2 months without winning a game. Went from January 31st to March 29th without winning a single game. They lost 26 straight. They were beyond god-awful.
All right, let's move on to Kyrie Irving. Let's hear what Stephen A. Smith had to say.
Right, Molly, you're absolutely correct. Every one of y'all is absolutely correct. I'm just saying that y'all missing an additive. Y'all missing a point to be added here. Okay. Kyrie says that this is his attitude. And Jay, you know this. JJ, you know this because you've seen him enough. Of course, you know it, Amari. You're an assistant coach on the team for crying out loud. Kyrie would have you believe he has done his research and that he knows. And oh, by the way, I'm not gonna waste my energy trying to explain to y'all because y'all are not going to get it. And what y'all are saying is, then what the hell you posted on social media for? He doesn't get it, but he thinks you don't get it. He thinks we don't get it. We're the lost souls. We don't comprehend. And that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. The reason why I can say that is that it's applicable to everything. When he was in Cleveland and there was issues with LeBron, we didn't get it. When he was in Boston and there were issues there with the organization, we didn't get it. When he made a promise to the fan base that he'd stay as long as you have me, then skipped out of town, we didn't understand. When he got to Brooklyn, all right, and he missed, and he didn't want to play without KD, we didn't understand. When he came back and there's the vaccination issue, we didn't understand. The bubble, we didn't understand. Social justice, we didn't understand. And now this, we don't understand. The Jewish community gets to.
Hello, Lucino. Hey, these thumbnails been hitting, boy. Where you get these thumbnails? I'll talk to you behind the scene. They done let Cino learn how to do thumbnails. They better not let me learn. And you can hit the little clip up button in the AI, will make clips for you. Shit crazy, B.
define what is anti-Semitic, what is offensive to.
Hey, y'all hear any journalistic integrity basketball talk? Did y'all? Because this is what Jaylen Brown is talking about. All the narratives that you hear on TV about these guys get given to Stephen A as a script, and he gets on TV and regurgitates it. If an owner or a GM don't like a player,
Ooh, regurgitate. Ooh, big word. Willie Williams, that boy said regurgitate. Don't ask me how to spell it. Big word. Woo.
get given to Stephen A as a script, and he gets on TV and regurgitates it. If an owner or a GM don't like a player, Stephen A. Smith is probably their friend. They go tell him, "You're supposed to, I do it." He get on TV and talk about it. How is this better in the game? How do you have a journalist that does not further the game? He's talking about bullshit that sound personal and sound like he shouldn't even be talking about this stuff. Stuart Scott, none of these guys wasted time worrying about this type of stuff. What does this have to do with the game? But when you have a guy that don't know shit about the game, this is what they use him for.
This, we don't understand. The Jewish community gets to define what is anti-Semitic, what is offensive to them. They get to do that. In his world, he's saying, no, that's not true. Because y'all ain't.
When black people are upset about something, Stephen A. Smith say, stop crying. We cry too much. But when the Jewish people are mad about anything, Stephen A. Smith say they get to decide. This is journalism. He hasn't said one thing about basketball yet. He's out there explaining why things are happening. He's out there giving warnings to NBA players about sitting out. He ain't talking no basketball. This is the go-between from NBA player to owner. He's the mouthpiece of the owners. He's the mouthpiece of the narratives that they want to put out there about any player to lower their contract. A team don't want to pay the Supermax, put Stephen A on them. Stephen A lower that contract, get him to sign for a little or nothing.
The real ones, we are. But
look at what he's doing. He's putting things out there. He didn't go have a conversation with Kyrie Irving. He didn't ask him what he think. He didn't do this to the people who originally posted that video. He didn't put words in their mouth. He's putting words in Kyrie Irving's mouth when he could have asked. He said he's a friend of Kyrie Irving's father. Why not reach out to his father, have a conversation? I'm sure if I was Kyrie Irving's father, this is what I would be pissed off with Stephen A about. It's like, how you sitting up here acting like you down for us when instead of you calling me, you just went on with your move. That's disrespectful. He's speaking for Kyrie Irving as if this is true. This is where you mess up at, Stephen A. You expose your hand.
To do that. In his world, he's saying, no, that's not true. Because y'all ain't the real ones, we are. But then doesn't want to back it up when people are challenging him on it. Why? Because he knows what we don't know. Yeah. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports.
Does he sound unbiased right there? Do he sound like he was being a journalist and just was bringing you the story? Did he sound unbiased? It didn't sound like it to me. No, let me share this with y'all.
Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the page.
I'm very, very happy for Jerry Jones. He is worthy of being a Hall of Famer as a businessman. What he's done, $140 million investment to $4.28 billion. That's what the Cowboys are worth. Phenomenal businessman, owner, president, GM of the Cowboys. 3 Super Bowl rings on his resume, albeit a very, very long time ago. We can't take away from that.
Jerry Jones, television contract, etc. He's been absolutely phenomenal as an owner. You got to tip your cap to him. He is worthy of Hall of Fame stature. I am just at a loss for this love affair with Tony Romo. I would like somebody, I think our researchers, I would ask that somebody check the court records and let's check to make sure that Jerry Jones didn't legally adopt Tony Romo as a son. I don't understand it. I really, really don't. I'm at a loss. Let me just say that I'm very, very happy for Jerry Jones. He is worthy of being a Hall of Famer as a businessman. What he's done, $140 million investment to $4.28 billion. That's what the Cowboys are worth. Phenomenal businessman, owner, president, GM of the Cowboys, 3 Super Bowl rings on his resume, albeit a very, very long time ago. We can't take away from that. Jerry Jones, television contract, etc. He's been absolutely phenomenal as an owner. You got to tip your cap to him. He is worthy of Hall of Fame stature. I am just at a loss for this love affair with Tony Romo. I would like somebody, I think our researchers, I would ask that somebody check the court records and let's check to make sure that Jerry Jones didn't legally adopt Tony Romo as a son.
Let's make sure that Tony Romo wasn't adopted as a son by Jerry Jones. A grown man. Yeah, that's journalism.
Now, as you can see, this is what we talk about. Why are you running? And don't forget, this is only going to get worse on the Patreon. The number one thing we got up on the Patreon right now is Marcellus Wiley, his wife, and the situation at hand. If you saw that yesterday, I know you're going crazy. But today we got even more. So this is going to be a great Patreon day for y'all. Like I said, they can't stand the energy, baby. And don't forget, Gilbert Arenas' trial date is set for November of 2026 for the illegal gambling situation. We will be following that trial or waiting for him to plea out. But this is why Jaylen Brown called him out. This is why it's come to a head. This dude is running. He's running from the truth. Stephen A. Smith is a grifter. This is what he's good at, causing disruption. None of them understand it, really. You see, Gil and all the rest of these people, they really fall into this trap. They believe their own nonsense. Gil told me he Pat McAfee. I'm like, oh, really? If you Pat McAfee, then who the hell is Pat McAfee then?
If you Pat McAfee, who the hell is Pat McAfee?
You're not Pat McAfee. You never will be. You want to know why? Because there's no interest in you. You're trying to make yourself relevant to people that don't care about you. They only use you to serve a purpose. Stephen A. thought he was going to extort ESPN because he was the next Pat McAfee. And on the Patreon, we're going to explore this part. This element right here that you're seeing, you're going to learn about this dynamic because he thought he was so smart that I'm going to use Pat McAfee's system to build myself up. He saw how Pat McAfee got paid and said, oh, you could do that? How they going to pay Pat McAfee more than me? That can't happen. Pat McAfee does not work for ESPN, ladies and gentlemen. Let me repeat. He does not work for ESPN. He is not an ESPN employee. He's partnered with ESPN.
It sounds like Stephen A. and Gil just alike. They always watching what somebody else get, comparing themselves to that person. Oh, I got to get what they got. Always pocket watching. That's what it sounds like to me.
Which means he talked to the bosses of the bosses, baby. He has his own staff. ESPN staff does not work for Pat McAfee. They don't come in there and the cameraman, no. Pat McAfee pays his own staff, his own people that he brought when he brought his company there. He brought his people. He's like, I'm not going to have ESPN people here messing me up. So I say to people like Gilbert Arenas, who think he was Pat McAfee, Gil, how are you Pat McAfee? You owned none of the company. You had another company, Underdog, logo everywhere on your shit. They ran it. They did the hiring and the firing. They told you when you going to perform and when you're not going to perform. You had a job, homie. You're not Pat McAfee. Everybody in the staff there, damn near work for Underdog. All their people is in there. That's Pat McAfee and Skip's wheelhouse, not Gil or Stephen A's. Well, here's the thing, though. Stephen A gonna talk whether it's football, basketball, or whatever, but he's always gonna try to make it more than this actual sport. When is he actually covering the sport? He covers social events, likabilities, and whatever the company agenda is. That's what he promotes. That's what he pushes. Content creators only care about the content. They don't even care what the other person says. Once these dudes make videos, they go to a whole nother section, right? They don't get it. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, you don't understand. It took. Yeah.
Y'all, I got my other
Now, so
channel
many
back.
people have their adaptations.
We back on every
of what
channel, baby. We back on. I got my other channel back over here too. We back, baby. Boy, I know they gonna be mad. We back, baby. I gotta get this channel on the computer. We back, baby. We back, baby. Boy, I know them haters. Boy, I see you watching, haters. How y'all doing? Toodaloo. I'm on live 2 times. You know what I'm saying? We Kwame 2 times right here. You know? You don't know? You don't know? The haters going down while the bus is going up. Channels just falling back in my lap. Thank the Lord. Channels just falling back in my lap. You know what I'm saying? People losing their job. You know what I'm saying? Getting fired on their day off. People getting fed charges and stuff like that. While I'm looking good, looking skinny, without Ozempics. I'm not saying somebody else is on Ozempics, but I'm saying I look like a healthy slim. You know what I mean? I'm getting down doing push-ups like I'm supposed to. It seemed like somebody else cheating the game. Their whole face sunk in. It looked like just a bunch of eyes and a nose just sitting there. So yeah, man, we back, baby. We back. I'll be live on this channel. The beef channel is back, y'all. I'll be live on this channel real soon. So yeah, man, you know, it is what it is. Salute to all y'all that showed up over here real quick. Appreciate y'all. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone. We back, baby. I just wanted to show y'all we were back. You know what I'm saying? Kwame Brown, Bustlife, beef. We back. All the videos back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Woo! Hey, haters, I know you see me watch. I know I see you watching. You haters. You haters. Y'all dudes don't do nothing but make me great. God is good, boy. I sat on that computer. I said, hold on, let me try something. Rodney tried to take credit for it, old lying, bullshit haircut having ass, bald fade looking motherfucker. He sit up here. I went up on that computer. I said, let me try something. Them niggas ain't watching no emails or nothing. They done got fired. And I said, reaction. And they said, appeal. You got the July 16th or you never get the channel back. I said, let me go in here and say some things. I went in there and said some things knowing he wasn't going to be checking no email. Hell, he just got fired. And I knew he wasn't going to take me to court for no copyright. So they was like, get this man his channel back. The other one, I went in there and did the same thing. I said, bop, 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 bop. Every content that I put out is my original content. I come up with satire and comedy. I know that some things may not be something that people like to hear, but I should have the freedom of speech to say it. You should never take away my right, infringe on my rights to protect someone else. The freedom of speech goes for us all. And I'm an advocate of freedom of speech. Thank you for reviewing my page. Please let me know if you are an advocate of free speech. Boop. They say if the person take you to court in 10 days, then your ass going to court. If they don't, you get your channel back. Boop, my channel back. So, Chrissy O, don't come over here with all that hate. Hey, you done let that man crash out. Why you send me a message calling me sensitive? Because you is sensitive. You crashed out. You and that junkie. That junkie said, Kenya, I'll beat your ass. You ain't gonna never tell me I ain't tough. You ain't gonna never tell me this. That man crashed out. Kenyon already punked him. So yeah, you done let the junkie crash out. He can't go live no more. Gil done took his internet. So it's over with. Gil done took the man internet now. So hey, I won on freedom of speech. Thank you, YouTube, for upholding freedom of speech. Because we have the freedom of speech. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. We are all inclusive. If you don't like some of my satire, please go to another channel. We like to joke over here. It's for entertainment purposes only. We do not mean to hurt, harm, or anybody. But yeah, man, Gil took that junky internet. He talked all that big boy talk. I can't wait to go live in the morning. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from saying his name, Kenya Martin. And somebody stopped his ass from saying the name. He ain't been live since. He ain't been live since, boy. Somebody stopped that boy from saying some name. I said, damn, that junkie was talking tough. Gilbert came in there, give me that goddamn modem. Give me the goddamn computer. I bought all this shit. You ain't nothing. Yeah, man. But let's get back to it, man. Chrissy O, your boy ain't got a modem to go live. He got a phone, so he came in my chat, but he ain't got no modem. Gil took the modem out.
They think about certain issues, right? And fashion or everything else, like professional athletes. But if you notice, when it comes to white athletes, they never have that same energy. It's never a balance. If you're going to be that way, why come it's always a different perspective when it comes to white athletes to black athletes? They don't highlight, oh, this black athlete is donating money in this area here. He's done all these charitable things. Why didn't you not highlight?
Then that just show you how weak he is, because he was supposed to be going live, like he said, exposing everything and burning the house down about Kenya Martin. But this is a great point, and I said this on my live. If Stephen A. Smith was truly for black people, like he say, and Jaylen Brown and all this other shit, if he truly is not a hater, then why didn't he speak good things about Jaylen so that the narrative about him could change. No one can be mad at a person that everybody's putting out in the media that's doing as much charitable work as this man is doing. Anytime somebody say something bad about LeBron James, we hear about a school. Because how can you not like a guy that has a school? So they know what I'm saying is right. They know what they're doing. They specifically kept it in a news cycle talking about what the teams were saying about him instead of talking about the good works this man is doing, that he's not been in no trouble. And now we have the person who made the trade on Jaylen Brown got out there for an hour defending the trade. Well, he really didn't defend the trade. He said, I don't know if it was the right thing to do. You think, jackass, you listened to Stephen A and traded away MVP. The man went up there and said, I don't know if this was the right thing to do. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like all of the things that Jaylen Brown was doing in the community of Boston. All those outreach programs, basketball program camps, spending his own money to do it and put it all together. Those kids are sad that he's leaving. He made himself accessible to the people of Boston. Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett never did that. They were never accessible like that. But what did we notice more than anything in the world? What did we notice more than probably any of them? It's all about who you like. It's always been about who we like. Now, when you start saying, let's go all the way back to the S.
Yeah, you notice how Jaylen Brown went to go to see the fan that went viral. The little black boy who went viral for crying that he got traded. Jaylen Brown went there to go see the young man, sign stuff for him and everything. Notice how he didn't go viral for that. NBA player go out their way to show up for a fan that really appreciate them, that was emotional about it. I don't see NBA players doing that. None of the people said anything about that. Stephen A, none of them. Why didn't he go viral for that? Oh, he thinks he's the smartest person in the room. Maybe he is. Why does that offend you? You're going to not like a person, want to get him traded. He does all of these good things, but let's highlight that he thinks he's the smartest person in the room. So let's not like a guy that thinks he's the smartest person in the room based on your understanding, but let's not talk about all of the outstanding things that he does like a model citizen should. Let's not talk about those things. Let's drill it home into people's mind that he thinks he's smarter than everybody. That's crazy.
Sense of what we used to do and how we used to do it back in the day. The games, the rules, and how they used to cover sports. Do you remember watching ESPN back in the day? They would be covering the sport. They fired all of the people, all the journalists. They got rid of all the journalists. And they started hiring people with influences. You got Cameron on a show on ESPN. I'm serious, dog. For real. Right. They don't care about the truth no more because all of it is about quick clips and clickbait. That's how you keep getting people like Gil to get by and skate through all the nonsense they've been doing. This is how they get by. This is how they get by. They let people like this squeak through the cracks. But Stephen A. Smith, if you're going to talk that shit, you know, it's real easy to talk that shit. If you're going to talk it, but walk it. You did all of this talking. Stand by what you say. I don't run from nothing. Yo, you can reach me anytime. It's only one guy I would never talk to, and that's that 12 sandwich eating, fat back, stank breath. Nobody want to be around Jason Whitlock. Now, why can't he do that?
I'm talking about, did it go viral from the pundits that always talk? It went viral when Stephen A. said that the owners don't like him. Did Stephen A. go there and talk about what Jaylen Brown did? I don't think he went on ESPN and talked about what Jaylen Brown did. I haven't seen it on ESPN. I could be staying corrected, though.
Why can't he do that? Why can't you sit down with Kwame Brown?
So it wasn't on ESPN? Okay, because the Jaylen Brown back and forth with Stephen A. took it to ESPN. So he takes everything else to ESPN. He'll take drama between him and a black man to ESPN. But never once did he take something like that to ESPN. Why would he not take what Jaylen Brown does positively on ESPN? Why is everything out of Stephen A. Smith's mouth about Jaylen Brown is a narrative that somebody else told him? Since when we validate gossip and call it journalism? Since when do we validate hearsay? Somebody told you something, so somebody told me this isn't that. That's not what you're supposed to do and come up on national television and tell us about some gossip that somebody told you. That you don't even know what happened in the situation. Jaylen Brown could have proved that he was smarter than that person. That person could have influence and just don't like that and got your dumb ass to come up here and talk about it all the time. And it goes viral for these type of situations. But he never takes positive things, and this man does a lot of positive things, and he never take it to ESPN. If they beef back and forth, it's definitely going to be on ESPN.
And have a conversation. You just did it with Gil for no reason. Have a conversation that's going to mean something. But you know why you don't want to have that conversation? Because he's going to expose you. And you don't want to be exposed. You do not want to give a platform for yourself to be exposed. You know it and I know it. You would be exposed, sir. And you wouldn't like that. Oh, the Pat McAfee thing gonna get quite interesting when we get to Patreon. It's gonna get very interesting when we get to the Patreon. And you see on the scales of what went down, how it went down, and where it's going. And Stephen A. thought he won because he got $100 million deal. No, they gave you 100 million jobs for $100 million. And you wanted to act like you was the big boss and you got power. You really have no power. They gave you the money. The money is only out there as a big thing in the media. What comes beside that, as you got your serious, you're one of the hard workers, yeah. But see, you have to go to work and do more work for your money. McAfee only has to do one job and go home. He does the Pat McAfee show and then he goes home. If he feel like doing something else, he'll do it. Oh, Monday Night Raw? Cool, let's do it. Oh, I could do a wrestling match in the wrestling ring.
Kwame so lame. So many ways I can approach this. But guess what? I'm not even gonna do it. God bless you. There's so many ways I could have approached that, but I don't even feel like it.
You think Stephen A can do that? Oh, I can't get in the ring. His bones be snapping. Crack, crack, crack. Oh, God, that's my ankle. They can't insure you for stuff like that. No, a lot of these Knicks channels that come up, they're just former. They're not really Knicks fans. They were in hiding for so long. They just come up now. They want to start talking about the Knicks and everything. So it becomes a massive situation. And when it's all said and done, people will understand it for what it truly is, and it's gonna implode on itself, you know. And when it all implodes, then people will figure it out, you know, and they can go from there. Now, where it's really gonna get off the rails, because I love being right, is when it all blows up in people's face. I love it when that happens, because it isn't like I didn't tell them so. They love to say that. You ain't tell us so. Oh, really? Because everybody sitting at a table can pretty much do your job better than you. You think you know more basketball than Kwame Brown? You don't. And you know you don't. You wish you did. Do you think you're as good as Kwame Brown at basketball? No, you're not. You never was. So for you to have that kind of vitriol towards another individual and act like, oh man, God, let me give him an apology because that seems to be what he wants. What he asked you for is a conversation. That's what he asked you for. But we just told you why he don't want to have it. Because Kwame's going to ask the questions that are not PC. They're going to call you out in question. When you say, what's your problem with me? And he gives a layout of what the problem is, which you know, that's something you don't want to tackle. You would never have a conversation with me. And you know why you would never have a conversation with me? Because you know where that's going to go. Yeah, neither did Stephen A. See, because we fact checked everything Stephen A was talking about. And once we fact checked everything he was talking about, there was no way, shape, or form he was ever in these situations. And he know he can't do that with us. Because what was fact and what was fiction is a thin line. Stephen A want to be around people who gonna kiss his ass because they need something from him. That's why Stephen A, yo, thanks for coming up here and getting on this live stream with me. And if you need something from me, let me know. It's pathetic. Exactly. We all can see it for what it is. Stephen A has always been a puppet. He's always gonna run from the truth. So when he gets called out from it, what does he do? He try to get people to go take something down and do some stuff behind the scenes, but he claims he don't run from nothing. All he's done his entire career is run from the smoke. Where was the smoke for Johnny Manziel? Huh? Chad Wheeler. All of these guys. Where was the smoke for them? Kyrie Irving's a bad guy because he didn't want to take the shot. He didn't want to take the shot. Andrew Wiggins had to be villainized because he didn't want to take the shot. You see how it goes? You see how these fools move? Everybody got to be villainized who don't want to do what the corporations say do. This fool boasting bad brag stuck his chest out talking about my business model was let me make my bosses as much money as possible and see how can I get a piece of it. And if you keep that philosophy, you're going to be all right. No, you're going to be fired and looking for another job and be a stepping Fletcher, doing things that go against moral responsibilities. There is things you don't do as a Black man. There is things you don't do. There's things you don't sell. Everybody wants to do money, make money, right? And they get the business aspect of it. They love to think Black people don't understand business. Black people have owned more businesses in this world than you can ever imagine. Black man had auto shops, candy stores, thrift shops. They were the first entrepreneurs. They invented the strip mall. Do you understand?
Yeah, we went from the original entrepreneurs to we don't build shit. We don't care about building shit. We vain like ladies. We like to have the look at me show. Look at my car. Look at my drip. Look at my fingernail now. Now nigga talking about look at my nails. They turning dudes into women. And even if they still act like a man, they still got somewhat of a mindset of a woman. They care more about their outward appearance than their bank account. They care more about how people perceive them with money than actually building wealth. And it's weird. Granddaddy ain't give a fuck about what you were saying. He drove the same truck, had dirty jeans, but he always had money in his pocket. Ain't have to beg, bum, borrow, none of that. I just don't understand what's going on now. The niggas will spend the money on their clothes and shoes and then be broke. And then trying to go sex play a woman. I just don't get it. I'd rather keep my same little goddamn jeans on and keep my money in my pocket. I don't know.
That all of these things that was going on with professional athletes, you never hear about anything they do in the community. Never. It's always a teardown on what happened. He got a speeding ticket. LeBron James got about 4 to 5 different speeding tickets, got pulled over going 100-something miles an hour. He got pulled over with Bronny after they hit somebody. You ain't never see ESPN cover. Why is that? Now, LeBron James has done all these things behind the scenes. ESPN and all these other puppets don't want to cover it because what Jaylen Brown did was shake up the apple cart. He exposed what you guys were doing. He exposed that the script gets handed all the way down. And what would you know, right? Walt Disney, who was a complete racist man, who thought women don't bring value after the age of 30. Walt Disney. Yeah, he was a fair man. The man that didn't want to pay his writers or his animators for all of the cartoons, Cinderella, all this stuff that they did. He paid them below the standards, took all the credits, won all the Oscars. It was done by my company, Disney. You work in-house. He was the first one to basically run an enslaved camp and got every one of the workers working for minimum wage. Then when they won their freedom and he had to pay them their money, he called the FBI on them and said they communists and got them deported out of the country and had it where they couldn't even be hired for work. Off a lie. All because he had to pay them more money. That's Walt Disney. Now look, I know history. I know this world. Well, it's not that at all. You could be successful, yes. And yeah, there is some black people out there like that. They mad at other black people because they want to be in that position. Not everybody's in the same boat. It's just like me not liking LeBron. Right? I don't like LeBron, and another person, he might not like LeBron either, but we have different reasons why. I list my reasons for not liking LeBron. They do it mostly because, it gets them hits and views. Their traffic go up, their engagement goes up if they dislike LeBron. So now they want to dislike him. So we might be on the same side, but we have different views and points of getting there and different agendas. I'm bringing the truth to the game. They want to jump on board because as long as it's giving them boosts. So you could tell why they're in it. They just in it to hate because it's giving them the attention. It's a look at me situation. Drake and Kendrick, everybody on Kendrick's side right now, I'm going to go on Drake's side. Just so they can get mad at me and give me engagement. You know what? Drake is one that won to me. What? And then everybody go over there and get him attention. And then they keep running that same play. And you see, no matter what the situation, I'm going to go over this side. It's always an angle because their main goal is hits and views. That's what some of these people are. No, it ain't. If we publicize it, this ain't for hits and views. It's for putting the truth out there. This dude is running from the engagement. It needs to be said loudly. Stephen A. is a coward, and he's running. Nobody wants to be Stephen A. I would not want to be that. They paid me $100 million to come up there just to be a puppet for what they want to say. I can't do that. But yes, there are some people that want to be Stephen A. You think Gilbert Arenas don't want to be Stephen A? That dude he would wear glitter shoes and everything. He was, Stephen A's old. Look how I can still twerk and shake my ass. I'm shaking it over here, boss. I'm shaking it over here, baby. Where you want me to shift it? Yeah, of course, he would want to be over there all the time, Giz. That is how he moves. But it's like principles. Like Cat Williams. Like I told everybody, I'm like, man, they were catting the truth. Cat, man, he's like this genie, man. Cat don't tell you the truth. They would rely on everything Cat Williams said once he did Club Shake Shack. And I kept saying, Cat Williams is upset because Cat Williams, if he had the opportunity to be where Kevin Hart is right now, he would do it. He would take it in a heartbeat. He's upset he got passed over. And once he started telling all them secrets, you know what he did? He shut up. He stopped. Because he realized, I'm about to blow my bag. Now he got a Netflix deal. Now he's got all these things going on. And now he realized, man, this is messing me up. Now he cool with Kevin Hart. Because why? He got what he wanted now. He got money. He got things going on in his direction. Now he's up. That's all he wanted to be. Kevin Hart wasn't a plant. Kevin Hart got the opportunity because Cat Williams blew it and was going through doing dumb shit to mess itself up. And they just went with the next Negro. Kevin Hart did not do anything to Cat Williams. That was why he was like, dude, I am not in your way. They could not trust you. You kept getting into incidents. Now, once he went after Tiffany Haddish, who did nothing to Cat Williams. Again, another person who didn't do anything with Cat Williams. But this woman who's now deceased, but that radio show, when he was on there and he started clowning her, he was up there to promote the concert. He wasn't even supposed to interview with Cat, but she thought she was going to get her shots off on Cat Williams live on her show. And Cat flipped the whole script on her. And then he started talking about Tiffany Haddish because he knows that she's friends with Tiffany Haddish and all these other people. It's the same thing with Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb wants to be back in that mix. Now he's going to get the big bag. He signed with the big corporate people. He don't shut up all that talk he was doing before. Corey ain't going to be speaking the way he was speaking before when he was like, see, they scared of me. They know I'm going to say something. See, because they know I know what's going on with backdooring. See, they going to talk that talk till they get there and get that bag and they going to shut up. You already see it. It has already happened with Corey. Corey's been shutting up a lot lately because he didn't sign that bag. He didn't sign with, like, I think he was CCA. He didn't got signed with that agency. Yeah, Corey got a deal. He signed with CAA. He got that agency now. Now, you ain't noticed? Corey got a deal. Once Corey got the deal, all you got to do, go listen to his last couple of live streams. Corey's been real quiet lately in certain areas that he normally would be vocal in. Now, I still like the show, but the show's changing. It's more a corporate night now. You know what I'm saying? So I can tell when content changes. I can always tell when a corporate person has walked into the room. But that's what I'm saying. Corey Holcomb reminds me of a person that had something, it got taken from them, and they want their spot back. So they say they're being hated on for whatever the reason may be that they went left. No, they tried to do that. They tried to come after Corey. Now Corey didn't sign his deal, but Corey's still doing his thing. Dude, you know how much slack I got behind the scenes? It's like, dude, like 2 years ago, it was crazy. It was like every video I did, everybody had something to say. That was crazy. Like back in the day, I'm like, dude, do you know what I was like in 2018, 2019? I was way more vicious. Now I'm like, kind of like, dog, more careful about people because I start thinking about these people's kids. You know, I'm like, man, they got kids. You know, I don't want, you know, I start having a heart more. But before I was vicious, I didn't care. I was just way harder. It was hardcore, straight to the point, and was standing on business and facts. And man, I had Meek Mill upset. I had Oskino upset. I had goddamn MC Shan on my head. I had all these people upset. I had people upset for no reason. People that I was fans of was upset. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, Strange from Original Gun Clubbers? OGC? What is he mad about? That ain't how the story went. I was like, well, then how the story go? Because this is what I was told. See, they get mad. I get told one thing, and then I say it. And then they got their version of what happened that make them look like the hero. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, the Meek Mill thing y'all know about because that went longer and longer. A lot of this stuff went on in conversations behind the scenes. So you didn't know what was what was really happening. Most of this was just like phone conversations and all this other craziness. And I just didn't give a damn. They was just getting all the smoke. But the thing about me is I've never seen somebody in a position to say, I want to be there. I want their position. That's never happened. I've always wanted my own position, my own spot, my own thing. I'm not trying to replace him. I'm doing me. That was always my goal. Yeah, I took down one of the videos. The video was so amazing. That was probably the sharpest I have ever been. Like as far as tearing somebody, so I'm like, I'm about to send him back to the crack pipe Let me slow down. I mean, damn, MC Shan was so hurt, dog. They reached out to me, like his people reached out, and his people, meaning like somebody he's staying with, whoever couch he was sleeping on, dude reached out, and I was like, I was a fan of Shan. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be like, man, I know how Shan is. So whatever I said, he said something like he was like, Carcino, nobody even know his name. Oh yeah, Granddaddy IU. Yeah, rest in peace to him. He was upset because I wanted to tell that story. I'm like, well, then tell it. What's wrong with how I said it? It wasn't that person, it was this person that told me. That went crazy. He also wanted to know. Oh, I'm sorry, I had a message. But yeah, he was like, put it on the Patreon. Oh, yeah. I'm going to take that because you an OG. That's what he was thinking. He was thinking he was just going to pop shit about me. I was supposed to say, okay, Mr. Shan, and then that would be it. And it didn't go that way for him. So he was hurt. It went left. The last video, I just took it down. I like completely deleted it. But that one, because that one was so vicious, man. Oh my God, was that vicious. So it went to a level that it shouldn't have got. So I just took it down because he was so hurt by it. And I said, hey man, you know what? You was a legend. I'm just gonna let it go from this point on. So once it was over, it was over. It was just like, Gil. Gil kept trying to come after me for telling the truth. We were speaking facts, the truth. Before that, I've never had a problem with this dude. Never. He thought he was bigger than life. The whole time he keeps believing he's bigger than life. And now he's got court coming up in November. Gone to November. So when it come up, I wonder why all these people like Around the Association, Self-Talk, Low Lights, why all these support channels for Gil all of a sudden, why they not saying that? Huh? Where's FYF Sports? Where are these people at? He tried to come up in the chat that one time, but then he had to shut up. Gil is a lame punk. Ain't nothing cool about Gil. See, that's the thing about you. He tries to appear cool, but ain't nothing cool about him. He's a lame. Believe me, it's a lot of lames that play ball. Like, they're some of the lamest people you ever know. Because you got to understand, most of these people didn't hang out. They go to the gym, they get up, they run, they go 6 in the morning, they shooting basketball. Most of these dudes are not cool people. It's very far few in between. You find some cool people in the league. Like, no, these dudes were squares. Only friends they had was the friends they hooped with. If they were good at hooping, they got some pats on the back and they got props from high school because they was dope in high school. But then they go to a college, they go to another world, and they playing with all these other guys who was number one and the guy in high school. Now they look average. But still lame. Everyone needs to learn their position. Everyone needs to get to a spot where they are at their peak in everything that they do. Mm-hmm. No. Hell no. My thing is this. How many of y'all believe this fool when he was talking? Look at where he at now. If you want to talk about Gil, where he at now? Show is in limbo. Everybody who was there, right? He started this show, what, 3 years ago? This was like the third season was like, what, 2022? So 2022, 3-4 years, right? Show over. Everybody scrambling. Don't know what's going to happen. Uncertainty, right? Uncertainty going on. Why is that happening when we told him that from day one? How are we the fools? How are we wrong if we told him that was going to happen from day one? What was wrong with the show? We told him what was wrong with the show. We wasn't hating. We telling him, you the problem. You the problem. Oh, you just a hater. No, you just a problem. See, some people can't handle the truth. How many people you know would look at Gil and tell him the truth? They're not going to do it. Man, all these dudes is incredibly dumb. You would be surprised, man, at how incredibly dumb some of these people are that come on these shows. I'll tell you, there was a former basketball player who played in the NBA. He was like college, won all the high school awards, everything. This dude couldn't tell you like anything about life, you know, because he hadn't really, all he did was play ball, went overseas and played, came back from overseas. And it was like, man, he bounced around from country to country playing on teams. And he had no idea how the world worked. He didn't know about like even grocery shopping. You know, he's out of place in a nightclub. You know, he don't know what to do in a club. You know, he's not like a popular NBA player when he was in the league. People wouldn't even remember he played. They'd be like, oh, okay. You know, so it's like they just see he's tall. And he was like, normally I'm tall, that I must be in some sport. So that normally worked for him. But he didn't like, he couldn't tell, like I would have to help him. You know, like, man, you know, like, I got to go to this thing here, you know, like, what should I do? Like, what should I wear? You know, I'm like, my goodness. You know, I want to go over here. You know, he didn't know how to grocery shop. He didn't know, like, okay, I got the milk, the eggs. He normally always had this in his refrigerator. Like somebody would always go in there and when he had to start doing that, he didn't know what to do. All he know is ball. That was it. Somebody else's job was to do that. You know, he just was trying to be in. You know, he never had a chance to get into the in crowd. The guys that was popping. Most of the cool guys are broke because they trying to look cool all the time. That's what I'm talking about, New Yorkers. New Yorkers be the main ones. If New Yorkers would stop trying to be so damn cool, they would have so much goddamn money. They always talk about they broke. But they be like, you just got your nails done, girl, for like $700. What you talking about? I gotta have this wig, stupid. I gotta match all my wigs for the week. But you dumb? They got their nails done. There's guys going out like, I gotta get the retro colorway Jordans. They coming out on this Tuesday. So no, I don't care about nothing. I gotta have it. I got to have it. $700. Oh, that's good. Sold. No questions asked. He said, I'm glad I'm from Connecticut where we don't do that. They will have a New Yorker will have 35 cents in their pocket, as long as they spend all of it on getting fly. Like, hey, dude,
I'm talking about every damn dime. You know how many NBA players I know? Probably half of it was their people stealing from them, but the other half was they got to buy all the clothes. There's some niggas that every paycheck they're spending 15 grand, 20 grand on clothes. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm still gonna get a two, dog, and I'm not gonna spend all that shit you doing. I feel bad for some of these cats that gotta pay all that shit for something that you don't gotta pay for. I just feel bad for them. Sometimes you just gotta say no, it ain't for you. I see nice, pristine booty pass by all the time. I let it pass by because I know that come with a price tag. Go on about your business with that price tag booty. I'm cool. You know, some guys just got to have it, you know. And if you got to have it, some of them got a price tag for it, you know.
I had like grants, but look what I'm wearing. It's all on my body. This coat about 1,700 right here. I paid, man, these shoes here 700. Yeah, that's why I'm only wear this when I'm going here where they gonna step on. Shoot, right? I swear to God, dude.
There's a difference between paying to play because you set a girl up, you set her life up because she's stopping what she's doing to be around you and to be with you. And so she needs some income. I know guys that do that, and the girls are available for them when they travel around. That's different than these dudes just be going out paying for random booty. I'm talking about all over different stops. They just paying for random booty. That's weird, you know, lack of confidence. But it's some people, some businessmen, they live a certain lifestyle, and they need a woman that's going to be able to have that lifestyle that they want, you know, and they have enough money to get her to stop working and all that shit. It's some men that they get papered up like that, and it's women that's living off of men like that. So if that's how you want to live, that's how you want to live. I ain't telling nobody how to live.
I'm telling you right now, LB was up here. If they had a doggone retro in a briefcase full of Jordans finna fly off a cliff. So retro Jordan, they finna fall in the ocean, and you got a briefcase for $10,000 on the other side about to fall in. They're gonna be, which one you gonna grab? Man, I gotta get these Jordans. These Jordans gonna be worth way more than that 10,000. I'm grabbing that, son. I've got to get that. They're like, dude, you ain't gonna grab the $10,000. You gonna grab these Jordans, man? Oh, these Jordans there, they 700 now. Watch, they're gonna be like 3-4 grand in about a year. They not coming out with these no more. Y'all don't know nothing about shoes. I mean, LB gonna sacrifice it all. Everybody was that is absolutely true. Look, outlaw, everybody. CLB is outlaw. Well, it all depends because everybody has their own warped sense of reality as to what's important and what isn't no more. So they all trip. They always sell each other short. You ever seen somebody who didn't sell somebody short? No, that's what they do constantly. Always selling each other short, stabbing each other in the back, and for what? Like I tell people all the time, like, dude, you see all these creators on YouTube that's white, they don't have to stab each other in the back to do anything. You watch the Pat McAfee show. Does Pat McAfee have to stab anybody in the back, or he just do his show? And his show is not about tearing down black athletes. But Stephen A., he got to tear down black athletes. But you, Pat McAfee. So anyway, I'm getting ready to do that Patreon video right now. I'm gonna give y'all all the details over there. So I'll catch y'all over there, man. I'm out. Peace. I'm Carcino. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. No one knows Carcino and none of these. There's so much going on in the world. And I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest.
Hold on, player. So I was doing some research. She said, let's talk about it. I dropped the link in the chat already. But I'm about to end this one. I want to go on my Bustlife live. So I want to end this one. I gotta log the information onto this computer so I can go live on the Bustlife joint, the Bustlife beef. But I'm gonna take me a little brief intermission. I'm gonna go smoke me one and shower up first. Because I've been doing push-ups and stuff the whole live. So I'm about to go clean myself up and I'll be back. Appreciate y'all. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone. Salute to you, Carcino for life. Salute to your people in the chat. We getting it. We getting the channels back and everything, baby. They going down, 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 down. We going up. Let's get it. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone.